Legends say the desert remembers everything. And if Monument Valley could speak, it would scream about what really happened during the making of She Wore a Yellow Ribbon, 1949. What the world saw was a proud cavalry epic, glowing in technicolor glory. But behind the camera, chaos. Storms powerful enough to rip equipment from the ground. Horses out of control. Actors injured and terrified. Explosions misfired. And a director whose obsession with realism pushed his cast to the edge of collapse. Secrets were buried in the sand, protected for decades, until now. Here are 20 weird, hidden, and jaw-dropping facts that rewrite everything you thought you knew about this Western classic. Fact 1. The movie was shot during real storms. She Wore a Yellow Ribbon features dramatic stormy skies that many assumed were painted backgrounds. They weren't. John Ford insisted the crew shoot during actual monsoon weather at Monument Valley. Cameras were covered with tarps, actors shivered in soaked uniforms, and equipment failed constantly. Ford refused to wait, yelling, "Get it before it disappears!" Those storm clouds became some of the most breathtaking natural backdrops in cinema history. The cast later admitted they were terrified of lightning but also stunned by the beauty. Ford called the storms God's lighting crew, and critics still praise the film's real weather cinematography. Fact 2. John Wayne didn't want the role at first. Believe it or not, John Wayne originally resisted playing Captain Nathan Brittles. At age 41, he thought he was too young to portray a weathered, near-retirement cavalry officer. Ford insisted, saying Wayne needed the challenge. To prepare, Wayne spent weeks studying elderly military commanders and practiced moving slower and speaking in a tired, deliberate tone. The transformation shocked everyone on set. Wayne later confessed that this film taught him how to act, not just perform. Many critics consider it one of his greatest dramatic roles, later influencing The Searchers and True Grit. Without this film, Wayne's career might have changed forever. Fact 3. Ford forced silence. On set, director John Ford demanded complete silence while filming emotional scenes, especially Brittles' farewell moments. Anyone who whispered, coughed, or shuffled risked being thrown off set. Crew members reported Ford staring people down until they froze. One day, a grip accidentally dropped a wrench, and Ford exploded with rage, halting filming for hours. Although the atmosphere was intense, actors claimed the silence helped deepen emotional realism. The quiet close-ups became some of the most powerful moments in Wayne's career, and Ford himself later said the silence was necessary for the dignity of the American soldier. Fact 4. Monument Valley nearly destroyed the production. The iconic Monument Valley location was both breathtaking and brutal. Temperatures reached above 110 degrees Fahrenheit during the day and dropped near freezing at night. Dust storms blinded actors, clogged cameras, and buried equipment. Horses collapsed from exhaustion, and several people were treated for heat sickness. Still, Ford refused to move production to a safer area. Locals warned the crew the environment was dangerous, but Ford only laughed and said, "If we wanted comfort, we'd be filming in Hollywood." The harsh environment actually helped create the rugged tone that fans remember, but it almost shut the film down multiple times. Fact 5. Wayne's mustache caused drama. John Wayne's mustache for the role became a surprisingly controversial topic. Ford hated the initial version and demanded Wayne trim it shorter every day until it looked military accurate. Wayne reportedly grew frustrated, claiming the constant shaving destroyed his skin and caused burning pain under the desert sun. Ford joked that Wayne complained more than the horses. But the mustache became crucial to Wayne's transformation into the older, worn-down Brittles. Fans still say the facial hair made him look decades older. Wayne later admitted the mustache helped him stay in character, even if he despised every moment of wearing it. Fact 6. Real soldiers. Appeared in the film. Ford hired actual U.S. cavalrymen, stationed near Monument Valley, to appear as background riders and formation troops. Their real-life military precision gave the film unmatched authenticity. Many cavalrymen performed dangerous stunts, charging horses at full speed, dismounting under fire, and executing formation changes without rehearsal. One officer even corrected Ford on cavalry procedures, and instead of firing him, Ford thanked him and rewrote scenes to be historically accurate. Wayne said writing with real soldiers changed the energy of every scene. Many extras later said they were honored to represent the cavalry in a Hollywood film. Fact 7. A horse accident sent an actor to the hospital. During one high-speed riding sequence, actor Harry Carey Jr.'s horse slipped in rough terrain and crashed to the ground, throwing him face first into rocks. Carey was knocked unconscious and badly bruised. Ford insisted the cameras keep rolling, believing the accident looked real enough to use in the movie. When Carey woke up, he discovered Ford had already included the footage in the final cut. Carey joked years later, "I got hurt for the sake of cinema." Many stunt riders called Ford reckless, claiming he often ignored safety because danger looked more authentic on film. Fact 8. The yellow ribbon tradition was real. The symbolic yellow ribbon worn by women waiting for their cavalry lovers was not a Hollywood invention. It originated from real 19th century romantic tradition, later revived during wartime. Ford wanted audiences to understand its emotional weight, the visible sign of loyalty to soldiers facing death. Actress Joanne Drew researched the history and wore her ribbon even off camera to stay in character. After the film's release, yellow ribbons became popular nationwide again. Many military families credited the movie with reviving an important symbol of hope, waiting, and sacrifice. Hollywood rarely influences real-world culture this strongly. Fact 9. Ford bullied actors to get emotion. John Ford was famous and infamous for emotionally manipulating his actors. During filming, he singled out John Agar, constantly insulting his acting to provoke real embarrassment and insecurity. Ford believed the humiliation would help Agar portray a nervous young officer. Wayne later admitted he hated watching it, but couldn't interfere. Agar said the experience was miserable, but gave the performance intensity he never could have faked. Many film historians debate whether Ford was a genius or a tyrant. But one thing is certain: the emotional tension audiences feel was absolutely real. Fact 10. Wayne's aging makeup was revolutionary. Wayne's transformation into an aging captain required groundbreaking makeup techniques. Instead of heavy prosthetics, Ford wanted Wayne to age naturally through subtle shading and wrinkles drawn with delicate brushstrokes. Makeup artists spent hours experimenting under different lighting until Wayne looked convincingly 20 years older. Under harsh sun, everything melted, forcing constant reapplication. Wayne hated the constant touch-ups, but admitted the process helped him physically feel older. Critics later praised the makeup as one of the most realistic aging jobs of the era. Many modern techniques were inspired by what this film accomplished. Fact 11. The funeral scene was shot in one take. The emotional funeral scene, one of the film's most powerful moments, was filmed in a single take. Ford told the cast he would fire anyone who broke character. Real military buglers played live during filming, and the haunting music reduced several actors to real tears. Ford refused to reshoot, believing the raw grief could never be recreated. Wayne later said he had never experienced a more painful or spiritually heavy moment on set. Critics credit this scene for helping elevate the film into a Western masterpiece, rather than just an action story. Fact 12. Real tribal members appeared in the film. Ford worked closely with members of the Navajo Nation, who appeared in the film as extras and cultural advisors. Instead of hiring non-native actors in makeup, Ford insisted on authenticity. Many Navajo men performed horse stunts and riding formations, while others helped design wardrobe pieces accurately. Ford treated the Navajo community with respect unusual for the era, providing food and jobs during filming. Wayne later said working with them changed his views on Native American representation. Today, historians call the collaboration a rare early attempt to include indigenous voices in Western filmmaking. Fact 13. The movie saved Wayne's career. Before She Wore a Yellow Ribbon, critics doubted whether John Wayne could deliver serious dramatic roles. Many believed he was only a commercial cowboy star. Wayne approached the film like a personal test, desperate to prove his depth. The performance stunned audiences and critics, earning him awards and respect he had never received before. Wayne later said the film changed everything, opening doors to more complex roles. Many historians consider Captain Nathan Brittles the turning point that shaped the John Wayne we remember today. Without this film, he might never have become a true Hollywood legend. Fact 14. Ford avoided music. While filming, John Ford refused to play guiding background music during emotional scenes. Instead, he wanted the silence of the desert and the wind to shape the actors' performances. Cast members found it unsettling, saying the quiet made their hearts pound harder. Wayne said the silence helped him connect with Brittles's loneliness. When the musical score was finally added months later, the contrast made the emotional moments even stronger. Film historians later praised Ford's approach as groundbreaking. Many modern directors cite this film when explaining the power of quiet space in cinema. Fact 15. The final battle was filmed without a script. The climactic sequence was filmed mostly through improvisation. Ford gave minimal direction and told the cavalry riders and native warriors to move like you're fighting for your lives. Stunt riders planned formations themselves, creating chaos that looked dangerously real. Ford followed them with multiple cameras, capturing whatever happened unpredictably. Several near collisions and falls seen on screen were real accidents. Many considered this sequence one of the most thrilling, authentic battle portrayals in Western history. Ford believed that war should feel confusing, not choreographed, and the film proved his point brilliantly. Fact 16. The title song almost got cut. The famous march melody that became inseparable from the film nearly vanished. Early test audiences said the music felt too sentimental, and studio executives wanted it removed. Ford refused, arguing the song carried emotional symbolism that tied the story together. He even threatened to quit if the studio interfered. When the film premiered, audiences immediately praised the soundtrack, and it went on to become one of the most recognizable cavalry themes ever recorded. Today, it is considered a classic military anthem, proving Ford's intuition was absolutely right. Fact 17. Ford's hat rule. John Ford had a strange rule. Every actor must wear their hat the exact same way throughout the entire film. Ford believed hat positions helped define character identity and emotional continuity. Crew members joked that Ford cared more about hat angles than safety equipment. At one point, an assistant accidentally bumped John Wayne's hat, causing Ford to halt production, demand the last shot be reshot, and lecture the entire crew about discipline. Wayne later laughed about it, saying, "Ford could direct a war based on hats alone." Audiences rarely notice, but Ford believed consistency builds believability. Fact 18. A real explosion scared the cast. During one action scene, pyrotechnics experts set off a controlled explosion behind the cavalry riders. The blast was far stronger than expected and sent shockwaves through the ground. Horses panicked, several riders fell, and Wayne reportedly shouted in genuine fear. Ford kept the footage, saying the reaction looked perfect on screen. The scare led to tightened safety protocols for the rest of production. Many cast members said the explosion felt like real battle. The moment is now considered one of the most realistic action shots in Western cinema, captured entirely by accident. Fact 19. Ford refused to color balance the film. Most Westerns used bright, balanced Technicolor, but Ford hated the polished look. He insisted on harsher tones, deeper shadows, and sunburned color saturation to reflect the brutal desert reality. Technicolor technicians argued with him constantly, saying the film would fail if it didn't look pretty. Ford ignored them, ordering raw visual grit instead. When the film premiered, critics praised the cinematography as groundbreaking. It went on to win the Academy Award for Best Color Cinematography. Today, its look is studied in film schools as a major turning point in Hollywood visual style. Fact 20. The ending was completely rewritten. The original ending was darker, with Captain Brittles retiring quietly and leaving in sadness. Test audiences hated it, saying the character deserved dignity and triumph. Ford quickly rewrote the ending to show Brittles receiving an honorary role as military scout, allowing him to continue serving. Wayne said he cried reading the new pages because the character deserved that respect. The change transformed the film from tragic realism to emotional inspiration. Many call it one of the greatest endings in Western history. Without that rewrite, the movie might not be considered a masterpiece today. You thought you knew she wore a yellow ribbon, but now you know the truth behind the dust, danger, and cinematic revolution. This wasn't just another Western. It was a brutal fight against weather, accidents, egos, injuries, and impossible filmmaking conditions. It broke bones and changed careers. It blended Hollywood myth with raw military realism. And against all odds, it became one of the most respected Westerns ever filmed, an ode to loyalty, sacrifice, and American resilience. So next time you watch Captain Brittles ride into the sunset, remember, greatness is never easy. It is earned, one painful frame at a time.